Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, retired librarian and homeschool mom. And in this video we're going to be looking at one of the films in this little disc. This is a Rankin and Bass original Christmas classics. So we're actually going to be looking at Frosty the Snowman. So this is, in this specific box there are two. You got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and then Frosty the Snowman. Yes, I'm covering all of them. So this one is actually different than the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in the fact that the Frosty is traditionally animated as opposed to the stop motion animation. So this is very much hand-drawn cells from the, I believe this came out in the 60s. So I have the IMDb page up here. Yeah, 1969, so the very end of the 60s. So that's the major difference. Apparently, when I was looking at the IMDb page, Rankin and Bass wanted this to look like a Christmas card. Now, this also doesn't have any original music. It just replays the tune of Frosty the Snowman. And that's kind of the story it tells of how a magician loses his hat. It lands, these kids are making a snowman. It lands on his head, and it makes him come to life. And he goes to the town. You hear the singing of the song. And a realization that once it gets warm, he'll melt. So, why being also, of course, chased by this magician who wants the hat back, as you think, oh, this can make inanimate objects come to life. They kind of add something there. But the entire tale of Frosty trying to get away while this magician's kind of following them around. And to get on a freight train to go north. And that's essentially the gist of this. I do not think it's very long. No, it's only about 25 minutes. So it's a very short, very fun, non-religious Christmas movie that's dear to my heart because, again, it's one of the old Rankin and Bass. So it's from back. It was something that would play on TV when I was a kid. It probably still periodically plays on television somewhere. You know, when people aren't subscribing to the massive millions of unnamed subscription services. Not to mention, I do not know who owns this. I think it's Universal. Universal Studios owns these. So it's one of those fun, traditional, again, it's not very long. It's good to put on at Christmas to have in the background. It's good for a brief distraction of the real little kids because it's not really scary. It's old animation. It's music. It's fun. And it's just that kind of simple thing. Again, it's only about 25 minutes long. No idea how long the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was. I think it's a little bit longer. So this was actually considered what now considers an animated short, because again, it's only about 25 minutes. And most things are like an hour long these days. So this was originally played on television, and it was supposed to be played on television. I think so was Rudolph. In fact, all of these, I think, were originally made to be played on television. So it's a good, fun, lighthearted little film. There's not much else to it. It's the old animation. It's very much a classic. It's one of those Rankin and Bass things. I have it in one of these collections with Frosty with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I have the other disc. The other ones are on here are Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which I'm covering, and The Little Drummer Boy, which I'm not, because again, religious. But again, it was the 60s. So that's really it for this review. There's not much to it. It's a 26 minute tiny little film that's great for young kids. And it's fun to watch as a family just because most of the parents will at least slightly remember this because it plays on television all the time. And there's still a cat in my lap. So that's it for this review. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. I cover films like this, some of the older classics. I cover other stuff, various films. Mostly, I do a lot of book reviews. Some for younger kids, some older. We're a non-religious family who homeschool, so trying to find Christmas movies that aren't quite Christmas movies is difficult, particularly when I'm trying to put stuff on this channel. So these I happen to have. I own these because I remember that, again, they're memories from my childhood. So, and they're fun. So be sure to like and subscribe. Check out what I've got. I have a big library. I usually put out at minimum two videos a week, if not more, depending on what's going on. And I will be adding stuff as we go along. This is being filmed in January of 2022. So hopefully by the time you guys see this, we're going to have some more maybe education videos, hopefully really more travel videos once we get going. Because again, it's January of 2022. COVID numbers are going through the roof when this is being filmed. So hopefully by the time you guys see this, things will have, slightly resembled back to normal. We hope. And I'll have more travel videos. We're hoping to get back to traveling. So, and of course, more educational stuff, particularly as my daughter, who's just about 2.5 at this moment, she'll hit 3 by the time you guys see this. And we'll be adding more secular homeschooling, possibly curriculum stuff, more games, stuff like that, just to kind of, as we move along and we start using things, and I will introduce them to the channel. So, again, like and subscribe, leave a positive comment if you have one, and thank you.